Squad? It's the big homie back at you with some more words of wisdom. Today we're going to talk about having situational awareness. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Chosen123 on YouTube. SB23 on YouTube also is my other channel. I appreciate everybody for liking and sharing the content and showing support, and I hope that it's helping you in some sort of way, and that y'all are having a good day out there. But all right, having situational awareness. So this is an important one too. This is like a universal law, you might as well say. Knowing where you stand in a situation is paramount, because you can be in a situation thinking that it's one way, and things could pan out to be a completely different way, throw you completely off, and now you have to scramble in order to get your bearings back. But if you had situational awareness, you were paying attention to the things that you need to spot out, look for, then you will find yourself in better scenarios because of the understanding that you have of whatever you got going on. So that's like knowing when and when not to do something, or knowing who or who not to have around you, or just knowing, just being aware of your circumstances. So I know when I do these videos, when I'm outside, you'll see me looking around, and I'm looking around to make sure that I'm situationally aware of what my surroundings, what's happening in my surroundings, so that if something jumps off, I'm not just out here lacking and get myself in a situation I don't want to find myself in. And that comes from just me growing up in the hood, and having to have your instincts on a high level, so that if something was to go down, you know what actions you need to take in order to overcome that scenario. So again, that's just something that was instilled in me from a young age, from my environment. You know, it's a dog eat dog world out there sometimes, and you know, again, where I grew up, it was the survival of the fittest. So if you wasn't fit, you wasn't gonna survive. So, and that's just like out here in life in general. In any scenario, it could be like that. Relationships, your job, like whatever you're working in, or business, if you have a business, you have to be aware of what's going on and make sure that you're on point always, so that when something goes down, you're not caught too off guard. Like, now there's always going to be unexpected things that happen in life that you may not see coming, because you can't see everything, no matter how good your vision is. But if you have situational awareness, then you know, okay, there are going to be some unforeseen things to come, so let me be on point as much as I possibly can be, so that when those things do arise, it doesn't affect you to a point of making you quit, or making you break down, or having you in such a hole you can't climb back out of it. So again, I learned those type of instincts from how I grew up, being raised in an area that it wasn't a thriving area, so it didn't have much. But because of that, it instilled in me a lot of strength and perseverance, because now when things happen in my life, it doesn't shake me, because I've been through the jungle, you know what I mean? I've been through the streets. You know, like I said in my other video, there's many sides to me, and that right there too is another way, another segue into situational awareness. There's many sides to everybody, and for me, I got my street side, I got my book smarts, I have my artistic side, I have my emotional side. So yeah, all of those things you have to be aware in what scenario those things apply and what scenario they don't. If I was walking around here all the time with my street mentality, then I would be messing up my life in other areas that don't require me to be such a hard person or to be such a on guard, on point person. You know, sometimes you have to let that guard down in order to do things in life. Your street side doesn't apply to everything, just like your book smarts don't apply to everything. Again, if you're in if something happens to you within the streets, in this everyday life we walking around, if something happens to you, your book smarts ain't gonna be able to get you up out of that situation. You're gonna have to have had some experience and maybe throwing hands or knowing how to maneuver in order to settle a situation down, or whatever the case may be. You have to have some sort of skills in that area to suit your needs for that time. So again, that's why I always push growth in all areas, you know, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, intelligence wise. Yeah, because you want to be versed in a lot of different areas, so when different things pop up in your life, you can handle them. So again, like I said, for me, I'm very handy, so I'm hands-on. I've done a lot of things in my life, so I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty and hard work. But I also am very good at making or establishing things that'll make passive income or semi-passive. And sometimes you got to know when to use your emotions in order to dictate a situation. So in some scenarios, you might have to cut the emotions off. Again, like if you're in the streets, that's not a place to where you want to get caught up in your emotions, because the weak get preyed on, and people who run off their emotions aren't strong people. You got to be people who let their emotions run them aren't strong. That's what I should say. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. The strongest people are the people who are in control of their emotions, of your emotions. So that's what I'm saying though. Understanding situations. Emotionally, you need to be within control of yourself so that you can understand the situations that you got going on around you. Because again, if you're not in control of your emotions, then you can think a certain situation is a certain way that it's actually not. Your emotion is making it feel like it's that way, but in reality, it's not that way. And now you find yourself in a situation that you don't even need to be in or want to be in, because you didn't look at a scenario from a clear view, a clear slate, an unbiased way. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's part of understanding situational awareness, is knowing that you shouldn't make decisions based off of strong emotion. You should want to wait till you come down to a more balanced place emotionally, and then make your decision, because now you can see the playing field for what it is, or the scenario for what it is, and understand it from a pure way and instead of a biased way. So it's just important to understand those things. Again, yeah, if you're making a deal, that's not the time to be the thug guy or the hood dude or whatever the case may be. If you're dealing with your kids, you know, that's not the time for that either. You know, you gotta understand when it is to be soft and caring, and then understand when it's time to pull out that hardness and that grit. So again, certain situations, it's not time for the book smarts, you know. Sometimes you need sometimes you need to implement the street smarts in order to get through a situation, or sometimes you got to implement a whole different tactic altogether. You know, sometimes you might need a little bit of that nerd to come out, because we all got it. We all nerd over something. Sometimes you might need just physical brute strength. You know what I mean? You don't need to be overthinking it. Sometimes you just need to go. Do whatever you got to do. Right in a moment. Use your strength to persevere. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it depends on the situation and what's needed within the situation. Oftentimes we overthink it. You know what I mean? That's another thing. You don't want to overthink anything, because once you start to overthinking, then you start to talk yourself out of something. You know what I mean? You could have a really amazing situation going for you, but now you start to overthink it. Now you start to pick apart things that you don't need to pick apart. Like everything's running smoothly, but now you get so caught up in your mind about maybe you're anxious about things going wrong, that now you start to pick things out that aren't even really an issue, but you might make it an issue because you're in your mind thinking that at some point this is going to fall apart, and now you start to look for the reasons as to why it might fall apart. You know what I'm saying? You could have a perfectly good job, but for whatever reason you're in your mind thinking that you need better and you start now nitpicking the job. You get a new job and then find out like, nah, actually that other job I had was much better. You know what I mean? But you nitpicked one thing from this job that you didn't like, and you focused on that. And then because of that, you say, you know what, I'm gonna go look for another job. And then you get the other job thinking that's gonna be better. And then you find out you don't like 5 things about this job, to where the other job, it was only just that one thing. But now this one is like, man, I don't like anything really about this one. It seemed like I was gonna like it up front, but I really don't like it. And now you gotta see if you can go back to the other job or take that L. So just again, a situational awareness. And it's like that with anything, you know. It could be your car. You could be like, man, this car is cool, but it's like, I don't know, this one thing I don't like about it that I just can't let go. And you go get another car and find out you don't like that car, or that car isn't as reliable as this car is. Same thing with relationships. You could be with somebody and everything be going fine, and then you want to be in your head about stuff, and you start nitpicking. And my bad, y'all, the phone died on me again. But like I was saying, you could be in a relationship and you're nitpicking, everything's going good, but you're nitpicking. You might be thinking about it's not gonna go well, or it's gonna fail for whatever reason. You might get anxious, get in your head, and now you create a whole scenario that you don't need to create, because of just not understanding that everything was good, but you overthink the scenario. So now you cause it to end for no reason. And we've all been there. We've all done these things. We've all overthought something at some point, and messed up a good scenario that you had because you were just in your head too much. And that was one of my biggest lessons for sure. I was an overthinker because I'm always in my head thinking about stuff. I'm always analyzing and digging deep into something and trying to break it apart and then figure it out. So I was definitely somebody who was an overthinker before, but now I understand that, you know, there's not a lot that you need to overthink. Most of these things out here in this world are cut and dry. It's real simple, you know. You just go off of energy. And again, like I always say, bring it back to energy. It is always about the energy. If the energy is good, then everything's gonna work itself out. Even if it's not looking like how you want it to look in that moment, if you just give it some time, it's gonna work itself out. It's just like a plant, you know. If you're feeding a plant and you're watering the plant, it's gonna grow. You know, you're giving it the right amount of sunlight, it's in the right soil, it's gonna grow. It's just gonna take some time. So if you're pouring into something, you're pouring good energy into it, then it's gonna bear fruit for you. So that's what I'm saying. You know, you just want to be aware of the situations. Don't overthink things. Understand what is needed at what time and whatever situation that is, and apply it in the right manner with good energy behind it, and everything will work out in your favor. All right, y'all, I'm out of here.